Welcome back to On My Watch with Dr. Riz, the show where we decode healthcare one confusing bill at a time, so you don't have to Google anything at 1 a.m. All right, everyone, today we're diving into the real price of using healthcare. And trust me, some of y'all are going to find this more fascinating than you expect. So, let's break down the four key costs that drive almost every medical bill: deductible, copay, coinsurance, and out of pocket max. These are the four bosses calling the shots on your healthcare bill. And today we're exposing them. So, which side do you want to be on? Where your wallet is losing money like it's running for freedom, or where it is protected like it's in Fort Knox? Because, let's be honest, right? Sometimes healthcare feels like it's personally offended by your bank account. If you've ever stared at a medical bill thinking, how was this $40 last time and $400 today? This episode is definitely for you. This podcast is for informational purpose only. All right. So, if you've ever opened a medical bill and thought, what in the world am I paying for? The confusion almost always comes down to four key elements: your deductible, your copay, coinsurance, and out of pocket max. And basically, these are the gatekeepers of your healthcare wallet. So these are not like random numbers. They decide what you pay every single time you get care. And here's the catch: they work together, not separately. Once you understand how they interact, you can spot exactly why something costs $40 one day and $400 the next. And honestly, 90% of these mystery bills we all hate come from these four. So, learning them isn't just helpful, it gives you control, it empowers you, it protects your wallet, it's your financial survival kit. All right, up next, let's break down each one in plain English so we actually know what we're paying for. So think of deductible as your entry fee into like the insurance world, right? So before your insurance pays anything, you have to cover this amount first. Okay. The deductible is basically like the bouncer at the club. No one gets in until you pay the coverage. Your insurance, well, they're inside, sipping on tea, watching you try to get in the door. They don't lift a finger until you hit that magic number. Here's something important to know. So if you choose to plan with like higher deductible, then that will usually mean lower monthly premium. So you're trading pay less each month versus pay more upfront if something happens. Or on the flip side, you're saying, okay, maybe lower deductible means higher monthly premium. You're paying more each month for the peace of mind of paying less when you use care, right? So you got to understand which side you want to be on. So, where do you hit your deductible? Big expenses, labs, imaging, surgeries, ER visits. Please be mindful. Routine visits with small copays don't contribute to the deductible. So that doesn't even make a dent. Once you hit the deductible, insurance finally steps in. Once you hit the deductible, insurance will step in. However, the co-insurance begins. It's the financial high five. You hand off the heavy lifting to your insurance partner, who starts sharing the bill with you until you hit the ultimate finish line, the out-of-pocket max. Also, don't confuse deductible with copay. A $40 office visit copay doesn't count toward it. That's a separate cost. Deductible is one number that can change your whole healthcare budget. It's the anchor for how much you'll pay throughout the year. So better keep it in check. All right, let's talk about copay, or as I like to call it, your flat fee friend. This is the amount you pay every single visit, whether it's $30 or $40 or whatever your plan sets, right? So the best part is it's it's it doesn't change. It's based on your bill, right? So if you see your doctor, go to urgent care or pick a prescription, that's your fixed predictable cost. Simple, easy, and way less stressful than guessing what your bill will be. Think of your copay as your healthcare sidekick, your loyal little buddy who shows up every time you need it, keeping your wallet from throwing a surprise party. That's important, right? All right, folks, let's talk coinsurance. The part of your medical bill that really makes your wallet sweat. Unlike a copay, co-insurance is a percentage of the total cost, usually around 20 to 30%, which means a $1,000 bill, well, you're paying $200 to $300. That could pinch. But don't freak out. It only kicks in after your deductible is met. Think of the deductible as level 1. Co-insurance is level 2. So you are not fighting on two fronts at the same time. Well, here's the kicker. The pricier the service, the bigger the slice. Coinsurance takes its cut every time. The silver lining, well, that is that every penny you pay counts towards your out-of-pocket max. Hit that and insurance covers 100%. Co-insurance, it's not evil, just math. Here we will see a quick comparison between copay and coinsurance. Coinsurance is the way you share the cost of a large procedure with your insurance company, typically after you have met your deductible. For example, Jessica's surgery has a total cost of $20,000. Her plan requires her to pay 20%. That is her coinsurance rate, which is $4,000. The insurance company covers the remaining 80%, which is $16,000. Well, the key takeaway here is that the coinsurance is a percentage of the total bill. On the other hand, copay is a fixed dollar amount. You pay for routine service at the time you receive them. For instance, Mark pays a set fee like $10 for a generic medication or $50 for a specialty medication. This amount is always the same for that service, regardless of the drug total cost. So, the key takeaway here is that copay is a flat fee. All right, everyone, let's talk about the out-of-pocket maximum. The out-of-pocket max, if you want to sound like a healthcare VIP. This isn't some boring accounting term. It's your absolute financial hero. Imagine your medical year is a very long, very expensive race. Your out-of-pocket max is the finish line. It's the highest dollar amount, the most you will pay for covered health services in a single year. Remember, it only applies to covered health services. Think of it as your wallet's personal bodyguard, setting a hard cap that says, nope, the chaos ends here. And the best part, once you cross that finish line, once you hit your out of pocket max, it's time for the ultimate victory celebration. Boom, your insurance company takes over and pays 100% of your covered medical bills for the rest of the year. That's right, free healthcare until the clock resets. Okay, well, this is a brilliant shield, and this is why you don't need to panic about high deductible plans, even if you have a rough year. You know there's a hard stop to your spending. Just be careful not to wander off the approved map, right? That's important. Those sneaky out of network bills are like ninjas and can still attack your wallet even after you hit the out of pocket max. The out-of-pocket max only applies to your covered services, so it will not apply to cosmetic surgery that is medically unnecessary. Stick to the in-network path, hit your out-of-pocket max, and enjoy your well-earned, stress-free medical year. Let's unlock the secret handshake of health insurance in four quick moves. Forget confusing jargons. We've got the awesome foursome of health saving. First, you hit the deductible. Think of this as the buy in, the first chunk of cash you must throw down to activate your major benefits. Second, you've got the little speed bumps, the copay. These are tiny fixed fees you toss across the counter for quick trips, like seeing your primary doc. Third, after the deductible is paid, enter coinsurance. This is the tag team partner where you pay a percentage, say 20%, while your insurer handles the rest. Sharing is caring. And finally, the champion, the out-of-pocket max. This is the ultimate finish line. It's your maximum yearly spending limit. Hit it and boom, your medical bills magically go to zero for the rest of the year. It's your financial high five and guaranteed peace of mind. So let's quickly trace how a big medical bill gets split up using a $1,200 MRI. So the deductible comes first, the insurance company steps back until you pay your $500 deductible, right? Like we talked about. You pay that amount right off the top. Then comes cost sharing. Now, that deductible is met, $700 of the bill remains. This is where your co-insurance kicks in, right? Your co-insurance is, let's say, 20%. So on that remaining bill, and that would be on $700 is just 140. So insurance pays the rest, which is $560. So co-insurance was 140, insurance is paying 560. Your total cost, you paid the $500 deductible plus the 140 co-insurance for a total of $640. Your total payment of 640 counts towards your out-of-pocket maximum, which means every trip to the doctor after this is getting you closer to the hitting that magic limit where your wallet goes on vacation and your insurance picks up the entire tab. So, there are five financial traps that we need to look out for. The copay illusion, it a huge mistake is thinking your copay applies to all services. You might pay $30 at a doctor's office and assume that covers everything. No, no. The copay often just gets you through the door. If you have labs, x-rays, procedures, during that visit, you'll be billed separately. And suddenly, you're dealing with a deductible or co-insurance. Always ask, is this just a copay visit or are other charges expected? Mistake number two, ignoring back-end costs. People often forget about coinsurance or don't check their deductible amount. Remember our MRI example. If you didn't know your deductible was $500, that unexpected bill for $640 is a massive shock, right? So coinsurance only kicks in after the deductible, so you need to know both numbers to predict your costs. Mistake number four, go on rogue, right? This is a budget killer, ignoring out-of-network costs. So you see a great specialist, but they're not in the network, your insurance may cover almost nothing, right? So the bill that would have been like $500 in network might suddenly be $2,500 for you to pay entirely. Always, always verify network status before booking. Mistake number five, not knowing your finish line. Finally, the biggest missed opportunity is not knowing your out-of-pocket max, right? So this is your financial ceiling. If you don't know what magic numbers, say 4,000, You might avoid necessary care in November because you thought, oh, well, I can go broke, but if you've already paid $3,500 toward your out of pocket max, it makes sense to get that surgery because you're only going to pay $500 now. So the takeaway is don't just focus on the premium, know your four numbers: your copay, your deductible, your coinsurance, and your out of pocket max. This knowledge is the cheapest and most effective insurance policy you can buy. So memorize your four superpowers: copay, deductible, coinsurance, and out of pocket max. These four numbers are the key to your financial destiny. The out of pocket max is your financial parachute. It stops you from ever paying more than the set amount in a year. Don't judge a book by its deductible. High deductible plans can have low premiums and still be a smart choice if you plan carefully. Understanding this stuff isn't boring, it's money. Being fluent in your plans saves you thousands every single year. All right, that's all the financial medicine we have for today. Remember the biggest takeaway: your health plan is not a mystery, it's a contract, and you know the language. Take control of the financial four: your copay, your deductible, your coinsurance, and your out of pocket max. Knowledge is your best prevention against a budget breaking bill. If you enjoyed gaining this financial clarity, make sure you like and subscribe. It helps us keep this conversation going. Don't let your health insurance scare you anymore. Fearing the bill is so in the past. A lot of this information can be found on cms.gov and healthcare.gov. Also, we have a surprise guest next time. Lots of interesting information about future of healthcare. And don't forget to check out my TikTok and Instagram. I am Dr. Riz. Thank you for tuning in to my On My Watch. Catch you in the next one. Until next time, stay informed and stay out of trouble.